Red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States.
When I told you guys yesterday, I said I cannot wait. The Lord is my witness. I cannot wait till the View has something to say about this, because they were saying he was a threat to democracy. They were saying the man was you-know-who from Germany a long time ago. They were saying all these things, and they are going to never recover from this. Let me tell you why. When you play with God, when you do things wrong, it will come back to bite you in the rear end, in the hind parts. Because if they would have been fair, they would have been able to secure a future for themselves. But because they weren't, and they lied to us, and they gaslit us, and they talked down to our God, and they hated America and the Constitution, and they said they'll take all these things away, and in the campaign trail they change it up. They talking sweet today, but they were evil yesterday. All the pundits were doing all this to us all this time. Now it's time to eat. It's time to get that porridge. Warm that stuff up, put that butter in it, and put the sugar on it. I don't know, some of y'all do salt and pepper on them grits. I want the sugar on the grits. It is time. And let me tell you how Donald Trump is going to end up being a 16-year president, and we're going to run the House and Senate for a long time. How is that going to happen? Mr. Tatum finna tell you, put your seatbelt on. Because they played around in 2020. Then, therefore, the people had a chance to see how bad they really were and how many lies they were willing to tell. They flunked in every aspect of what the people cared about, which is the economy and the border. Then he's in now with a victory like we've never seen before, which he should have had the same thing in 2020. Victory like we've never seen it before. House, the Senate, the presidency. We also have the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas is going to retire, and Donald Trump will be able to put a young person in there that can run in the Supreme Court for the next 50 years. And then what we have an opportunity to do that they didn't do is all these people that they brought over here illegally, we're going to have our opportunity to send a lot of them back. And there are people here that work hard, that work hard, that pay taxes, and we're going to find something to do with those people, because you can't just send out 20 million people back. It ain't going to happen. But I tell you what, right now, today, as we speak, people that have committed crimes in this country, people that have come over here yesterday, the day before yesterday, you're going home today. And we're going to finally prioritize the American people first. We're finally going to prioritize what's best for America. We finally have a president in power that's going to go to Netanyahu, that's going to sit down with Putin and is going to say, well, you need to bring an end to this, because there's a better way. And they're going to listen to a man that demands respect and that has the resume. And we're going to build our economy back. We're going to be proud to be American again. All of that crazy stuff they were pushing is no more. The DEI, it's gone. All of that race baiting and you against you because you against, they called us garbage. That's why I got this T-shirt on. They called us garbage, proud mega garbage. They called us garbage. They were hateful. They were mean-spirited. And now I hope that Donald Trump get an attorney general that's going to be willing to do his or her doggone job. And I don't want nothing to let go. We need to go look at them documents that old man Joe had. We need to go look at these prosecutors around the country and what they were doing and how they were colluding with the White House. Don't go deleting stuff now. There ain't no bleach bit now. You can't bash them things with hammers now. It's on. Hey, y'all, just real quick, I want to tell you guys about Ground.News. They're a sponsor of my show, and I got to let you know about this because I think it's incredibly important. Are they going to treat Donald Trump fairly as we approach his administration? We've known that they have been biased against Donald Trump by 90% or more. But the beauty of Ground.News is that you can see it for yourself. And I think that probably Ground.News is what woke a lot of people up, because you don't have to just believe one side. You see one side, you get both sides. And I think this is important for conservatives too. You can't just look at conservative media and conservative outlets. You got to see what everybody's saying. So right here on the website, you have the left, you have the right, and they do a little synopsis comparison. Over here at the top above my head, you can see how many articles are written, 835. Most of them are left-leaning, and then there's a few that are right-leaning and a few in the center. But the thing that's crucial to understand is, how are they framing these stories? In the future, when Donald Trump does something, which he's going to do a lot of incredible things, how is the left framing what he's saying so you know what your grandma and them watching? If you look at it, it looks like they're pretty fair. Like the left is saying Trump's elected 47th president of the United States of America, defeating Harris to retake the White House. Donald Trump addresses his supporters in Florida election night party. You go down here, Trump wins the White House, a political comeback rooted in appeals to frustrated voters. Donald Trump declares U.S. election winner. And then you go to the right, and I don't think the right is much different, which I think is encouraging, right? It says Trump wins White House in political comeback. Trump elected 47th president of the United States of America. Voter elect President Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America. All of it seemed pretty fair. But if they get out of line and get crazy, Ground.News will help you navigate. So you can see who's reporting on it, whether it's media conglomerates or independent writers, the factuality of the articles, who wrote the articles up here behind my head. You can see where it's being reported. A lot of these things are being reported, obviously, all over the world, right? Where you see the brown, that's where people are talking about this, because this will affect the world, what happens with Donald J. Trump. If you subscribe through my link at ground.news/Tatum, you'll get 50% off the Vantage plan, which is the plan that I use for unlimited access on all the features. This is their biggest sale of the year and only available for a limited time. I think Ground.News is doing impactful and important work. They are subscriber supported and support my channel. So I hope that you'll check them out, give them a chance, and be informed. We got a bunch of clips of people melting down. Let's go to the View real quick. Roll the clip.
Profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was "America Makes a Perilous Choice." I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had.
Y'all can't get away with this no more. All that stuff is stupidity. You have less rights. Your daughter have less rights than you have. That's why y'all lost. That's why y'all lost, and y'all gonna go home with your tail tucked between your legs. Ma'am, you can't describe a right that you don't have or that your daughter don't have that you had. I guarantee you, these people live in New York City, they live in LA, they live in all these places where you can get it on demand. Y'all can get it on demand. Arizona, they just passed Prop 139, disgracefully. Y'all can get it on demand. That's on you, boo. Your daughter can go do a Freaknik and then go down there to Planned Parenthood. That's on y'all. Y'all can do that to yourself. That's on y'all. We're going to raise our children differently. You keep lying to people, and I'm going to keep speaking the truth. Ain't nowhere in the world you got less rights. Your daughter got less rights. You got less rights than your father did. Y'all crazy. And we're going to keep calling you out. Hit it.
When he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk.
Now let's talk about this convicted felon thing. You know how silly you got to be, and I'm gonna keep calling these women on the carpet. You know how silly you got to be to say there shouldn't be no felon checkbox. Hey, all felonies are not the same. What felonies are Donald Trump being accused of or convicted of? Not a violent crime. I think it's all a sham, and we're gonna find out when he get in the office that it's all a sham. But you telling me that the person that unalived 15 people, or a person that unalived a person that been selling drugs and destroying the community their whole life, you telling me a person that's been dealing and messing with underage people, that's the same felony that they charge Trump with? Yeah, you're supposed to be a prosecutor, and you're going to say that every felon should not check off a box or not have to check off box. Y'all keep playing. Keep saying this crazy stuff. We're going to be on y'all head. Keep going, Nick.
I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed-race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
Hold on a second. Let me just say this. I think that other women on the panel had a better perspective than this. That's why we played her, because she was the worst. Cultural resentment. These people think that we should be voting for a woman because she's a woman or because she's black, and she don't even operate like that. She was a running mate and voted for Joe Biden, who's white. Her husband is white. Her running mate was white. They get to do whatever and her running mate wasn't a woman. Why did Kamala Harris pick a woman? Why did she pick a black woman? Since y'all want to play identity politics, she's the first woman. That'll be the first female president and female vice president. That'll be the first two black people on the, well, she ain't even black. But if y'all want to play the black game, that'll be the first two black people on the ticket ever in history. She don't even believe in that. She didn't even pursue that. She wanted nothing to do with that. She picked the corniest white man on planet Earth to be her running mate. And they want to say, oh, with civil rights, and I thought that it's a reparation between races. No, it's not. No, it's not. J.D. Vance's wife is not black. I mean, she's not a white woman. J.D. Vance's wife is a black and brown body. Donald Trump's daughter is a Jew. Donald Trump's wife is an immigrant. I think, to be honest, we are the ones of the party of diversity. We are the ones that care about everybody, and we don't look at people just based on the color of their skin, but based on the content of their character, based on what they bring to the doggone table. And we proved it. People in Michigan, people in Wisconsin, people in Nevada, people in Florida, people all over the country, in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Them ain't just white people. Them ain't just men. Y'all are the ones that putting people in a box. That's what you get. I'm going to rub your face in it like you do the dog. When the dog pee on the carpet, hey, you stop it. Look, smell that. Stop it. Don't pee on the carpet. Now, I ain't never did a dog like that, but y'all know how they used to do them dogs. That's what they deserve. Put your face in it. You see all them lies you told, all that racism you've been pushing? You called all of us trash and all this stuff. Now look at you. Y'all the ones that have been lying. Y'all are the ones that were wrong. Roll the clip. Do you have
I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that, to me, brought me a consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets.
Yep.
I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman precedent. History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country. And I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today. Today we can be sad.
The LGBTQ voted for Trump. Women voted for Trump. The young people voted for Trump. Who are you talking to? That's why I'm glad Trump won the popular vote. He won the popular vote too. We got more clips. Y'all just hold on. He won the popular vote too. Do y'all forget that? So all this talk about LGBT as if he's disenfranchising LGBTQ. There's a lot of gay people in the movement that I know of. I know them personally. They voted for Trump because they're not deranged. They understand that if they want to be transgender, they know they were born a certain way and they want to identify as another way. They're not trying to push that on other people. Blair White is one of them. She's the biggest advocate for them to stop putting drag queens in these schools. You know, Amir is one of them. Well, he's not trans, but he's black and he's gay. And he clearly voted for Donald Trump because he know what's up. And I think that every single American should be proud because they shamed us as if it's just the 3 or 4 of us. Listen, look at I don't want to call her a name, but you know there's a lot of material right there. How you gonna be bald head and have a big old forehead? How your hair look like my uncle hair? He balding, he gonna have that little thing in the back. After a while, she finna have the same thing. Woman, your forehead way back here, and then your hair already thinning out. It's because you're lying on TV every day. When you lie on TV every day, your hair start falling out. Roll the clip. Now, hold on. It's a joke. So some of y'all are like, she got alopecia or something. I'm just joking, right? I mean, I want to throw the material at them because they talk about Donald Trump like a dog. They treat that man like a dog. That's a good man. Donald Trump is a good, decent guy. He make mistakes like everybody else. King David had him running through the building. He getting people knocked off so he can have their wife. King David was a man after God's heart. Now, Trump ain't King David, but just because a man be messing up don't mean he ain't a good man. You look at that man's life history, I think Donald Trump overall is a good dude. I met the guy. He's chill. But y'all slander this man every day of the week, slandering. Y'all not disagreeing. You're lying about it. Roll the clip.
You know, it's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and a thought that, you know, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, you know, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks. Yep. But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This would be.
I want to say this before we get to something else. Thank you, white people. I just want to thank y'all again. Y'all be doing us service. Thank you, Nick. I want to thank the white people that are watching this. If it had not been for y'all, where would we be? And I know people gonna get mad at me for saying that. I believe that with my whole chest. White people fought in the Civil War. I mean, white people, thank you. You can't find nowhere else on planet Earth do you want to live other than around white people. Somehow they got it figured out. I don't know what the rest of y'all doing. They got it figured out. White women ain't silly. And I hate to say this because I don't want to be divisive. But the people of the melanin, that's the most disappointing part of this election was the people of the melanin. Really? I think Trump won 7% of the melanin women vote? Y'all know what I'm talking about. 7%. He only did 20% of the men. 20%? Hispanics were 50-some%. Women were over 50. Thank God for the white man. We'll be in communism. What y'all doing? And y'all not waking up. Y'all got it worse out of anybody in America, and y'all still pulling the lever for the enemy. Can I just say it? Ma'am, have you not been to Chicago? Have you guys not been to these schools? Kids graduating at second grade level. They at the Planned Parenthood doing, eliminating their generations to come. They're incarcerated, not generating wealth, no generational wealth. And y'all still pulling the lever for these people? What policy did they even try to promote to you? Vote for the black woman. She ain't even black. Obama is half. And neither one of them have the black American experience, which means they didn't grow up like the most black people in America. They didn't even grow up in America. And this is what they offering you? This is what they have for you? This is what they do. A woman giving accents every 5 minutes. She was the worst candidate when she ran for president. She was the worst vice president. And she just lost the election more than anybody else. Donald Trump had the greatest victory against her. What are they offering y'all? Food stamps? What they offering you? A hope and a prayer? What they offering you? The exact opposite of Martin Luther King. He had a dream that we'll be like this. They trying to push y'all away from everybody. And y'all going home crying right now because they lied to you the whole time. They knew she was terrible, but they lied to you. Let's go back to the clip. I get the preaching. I get the preaching. I get the preaching. Share this to your black friends. You don't have to say it. I said it. Roll the clip.
The second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more, party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what the risks are and leave it to them to do the right thing.
Hold on, Nick. Hold on. Go back a little bit. Go back. I'm going to point something out that nobody's seen. Play it a little bit. I want to show her laptop. Just play it for
woman. This will be the second opportunity that
I'll tell you when to stop.
This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much.
Stop. Look at this Look at this picture on this laptop. Y'all can't see. I can see. It's a chair. It's a folding chair. Do y'all know what that folding chair represent? Do y'all remember when the black and white people had that conflict? Was that in Alabama or Mississippi? That riverboat brawl. Do y'all remember that? I know all of y'all remember that. Remember they were on the river, black people swimming and everything. They were the dude hit that woman over the head with that chair. Do y'all remember that? Montgomery, Alabama brawl. This woman got that chair. This is what black people were celebrating, was that chair that man hit that woman over the head with. Now, if it was a white man hitting a black woman over the head with a chair, this would be so offensive they would kick you off the air. She's the person of unity. This is racist. You celebrate the brawl between black and white people, and the black people hitting white people with chairs, men hitting women with chairs, and you celebrating it by putting it on your laptop. Now, see, these white people that's sitting right here probably don't get that reference. I get it. I know what it is. Can you believe she got that on her laptop? What else could this folding chair mean? If it means something else, somebody correct me. That's what the folding chair means. Because I remember they had T-shirts, they had hats and everything with this folding chair. But we supposed to listen to this woman. That's why y'all lost. This is why y'all lost. We got more clips. Let's play some more clips. Look at Van Jones. I'll wait for him to cry. The white lash. Van Jones, take it away. No sound.
Elite, because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed.
From black men.
Who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they're facing rejection. And that hurts. They thought tomorrow morning they're going to walk out with their shoulders back a little bit, maybe able to breathe for the first time and feel like they belong someplace. They did everything that they knew how to do. And it's going to be harder than it should be tomorrow for them to hold their heads up. And they're not the only people who are hurting tonight. If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good. There are going to be people tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price.
Van, so you saying somebody cleaning your teeth, which is a doctor, a dentist, they don't have no papers? You telling me a dentist don't have no papers? You had to go through dental school. Are you talking about somebody assisting? Last time I checked, well, maybe they got a little assistant that maybe clean your teeth. But last time I checked, my dentist cleaned my teeth. The dentist that owned the practice, he cleaned my teeth. I don't know what you're talking about. He had to catch himself, right? He was about to only go with all these low income, these low value, not low value, but low skill work jobs and say they the only ones that don't have no paper. Then the fool went to a dentist. Man, listen, if you notice, Nick, the 3 clips that I played, black people are degrading themselves and other blacks. Why did Sonny Holston have nothing but grim things to say about the future and about hope? And then you go with the bald head Joy Reid. Grim, no hope. Van Jones gets on here. Black man, no hope for black people. The ones that voted for Trump don't count. They're not black. Black women, he presents this grim reality for black women that is not even real. They don't feel belong. They don't feel belong. Black women are the most educated women in America. If you look at people getting degrees and going to college per capita, black women are at the top of the food chain. They don't feel represented. They feel like it's their choices. And you guys are elevating shame and dread in the hearts of black people. At least Kamala Harris, when she gave her speech, it was hopeful. It was a good speech. Even though she didn't mean it, somebody wrote a good speech for her. I don't know if she meant it or not. It was a good speech. That's not how she campaigned. She campaigned on hate and division. But y'all out here telling black people, knowing that Donald Trump ain't finna do nothing negative, that they should be in fear and in a devastated posture because y'all lost an election for Democrats that ain't done nothing for black people. Insane to me. Insane in the membrane.
It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Yeah, but Van, how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald.
So he went on to say, is this more and more to it? Yeah, play it.
Donald Trump.
Well,
right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party, let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
Say it again, white man. I know he can't. You probably can't play it back, but y'all heard what he said. Play it back. Play his clip. Play his clip one more time. The whole clip? No. Play. Yeah, that guy that was speaking, the Republican.
we're going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Yeah, but Van, how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump. Well, right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party, let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
It could be no more truer words than what he just said. The Democratic Party let those black women down. They put up a trash candidate. And I was telling y'all from the beginning she was trash. She didn't fairly win that position. They should have picked up, instead of virtue signaling and saying, I'm going to pick a black woman. Like, with all due respect, there are some incredibly talented, smart, capable, actual black women that live the black woman American experience. Generally, I'm speaking generally. Meaning they grew up in a black neighborhood. In many cases, they came without a lot, you know what I'm saying, a lot of advantages, worked their way up, got an education, generational changer, very smart, loved their husband, raising children, or believe in doing that in the future. Very successful black women who are intelligent, who can speak, who don't talk in word salads. You could have picked her. I'm glad they didn't, because they would have hoodwinked us into getting these Democrats in. Y'all could have picked somebody real. You the one randomly picked this affirmative action hire. When she was polling as the worst vice president in American history, you should have said, we're going to have an open primary. We know Joe Biden ain't got it before he did the debate. We've been saying this when a fool fell up the stairs. How you fall upstairs? He falling out bikes. Man, we knew he was cooked. Y'all knew he was cooked. Y'all should have took that opportunity to say, let's go and find the best and the brightest black women who are accomplished. You can't tell me there ain't more black Democrat women who are not better than Kamala. And then she go and run, and she's terrible. I mean, I was like, okay, she got momentum. Let's check this out. She does her first interview, and it's like, what? First of all, she was dodging interviews. Then she do her first interview, and you're like, ma'am, you're supposed to be a prosecutor, which means that you have to prosecute in cases, in some circumstances where the person who you're prosecuting may be in the right, but you got to toe the line for the prosecution. So sometimes you got to embellish a little bit. You got to stretch the truth, rubber band man. You got to stretch the truth a little bit so you can win the case. Ma'am, you don't have no foundational principle on just saying at least what people want to hear. You didn't say nothing. What are you going to do for America? Ma'am, make something up. Say something. She going off talking about when she was raised and she was a kid, her mama was a sharecropper or something. I'm like, bro, my 3-year-old could have gave a better statement than that. He know how to say stuff that he know I want to hear. Ma'am, you can't even come up with anything. She did like 15 interviews and never said anything. You can't win like that. I know it. We know it. She's a terrible example of a black woman. They put the worst black woman up there and think we supposed to be patting her on the back. Y'all tripping, bro. Y'all are tripping. She lied. She was deceptive. They pushed the whole hoax of good people on both sides. They pushed that stuff the entire time. All right, let's go with Al Sharpton and see what this nut job had to say. And I think they talk more than Al Sharpton, but roll the clip.
And they need to be honest. I just say, Rev, really quickly, too.
Rev.
Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of,
with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Real honest conversations.
Hold on a second. So, I got you. So, let me get this right. Instead of looking at them, I'm glad they're not holding themselves accountable because we're going to keep winning if they keep lying to themselves. Instead of saying all the things that I said previously, now Mexicans are racist. They're misogynist. How about they just saw, like everybody else saw, that she was terrible. She was a bad candidate. She had no policy positions. She was in office and saying, when I get in office, I'm going to do something. Be like, ma'am. That's like you hire somebody to clean your house. And they go, you know what? When you promote me, I'm gonna clean your house. You like, ma'am, you the cleaner right now. Are you gonna clean that toilet bowl or are you playing? So I gotta somehow make you the head cleaner for you to do your job. That's crazy. That's cray-cray. And instead of them holding themselves accountable, they blaming people and calling people misogynists.